Hi, this is Roxanna Erickson, and I'm commenting on the session I did with a volunteer subject, Carolyn Manning, at the International Society of Hypnosis in Paris in 2015. I selected her as a teaching demonstration from the audience. I had no background information on her. She turned out to be an experienced subject who already knew how to enter the hypnotic trance state. Because of the time constraints for the demonstration, I could only take the briefest of backgrounds and then focus on a single issue or two in the hope that it would help her achieve personal objectives. She expressed her personal goal was to shave seconds off of her competitive rowing times. This told me that she is detail-oriented, disciplined, self-accountable, motivated for success, and a serious athlete. As an athlete, she has a strong, unconscious sense of her own body. Carolyn had previously used auto-hypnosis, a dissociative technique, that of seeing herself from the outside of her body, to evaluate the mechanics of her rowing techniques. She had used that with some success, but was at the point where it was no longer serving to help her achieve the goals she sought. I could have offered suggestions from a multitude of directions, but I chose to come from the complementary perspective and suggest the technique of association with her body. I asked that she engage in the sense of feeling her body from the inside out. Carolyn readily entered the trance state, and I followed with a brief series of suggestions to feel her body, her bones, her muscles, to notice her breathing. I encouraged her to connect with her own internal sense of self from the inside out. I suggested remembrance of being in the rowboat, with the motion of rowing, the feeling of oneness with the boat, with the oars, with the rhythm, and with those unconscious processes that are the essence of the sport. I was able to see in her breathing, in her muscles, in her heart rate, she seemed to be fully in the experience. It was a simple shift, most likely one she had previously used consciously, but it took on new meaning when the unconscious mind was evoked. It wasn't my meaning, it was a connection deep within her. She was able to connect physiologically, her own memories, her body feelings, the mystical enchantment of recognizing the harmony and the rhythm as she moved across the water. All the suggestions I offered were targeted at the internal resources to connect her in just the right way. For the next 5 minutes or so, I encouraged feeling, connecting, recognizing, and building awareness. I sought to help her develop a platform for ongoing, continuing growth. It is my own perspective that hypnosis is an intrapersonal phenomena, and all I did was suggest that Carolyn connect with resources that she already held within. The experience of working within the hypnotic trance state builds new bridges that facilitate connections with pre-existing internal resources and help build healthy new associations. I deeply appreciate that Carolyn provided me with feedback. It is feedback that helps me and helps our fellow professionals to grow beyond what we currently know. And together, it will help us all to better understand hypnosis. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Carolyn Manning. Welcome to Melbourne, Australia. I'm a psychologist and clinical hypnotherapist based in Melbourne. I've used hypnosis to help clients with a range of issues, including athletes and musicians who wanted to improve their performance. At the August 2015 International Society of Hypnosis Conference in Paris, I was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to be a participant in a hypnosis demonstration conducted by Dr. Roxanna Erickson Klein at her seminar on self-hypnosis and teaching others. She is a world leader in the field and is the daughter of Dr. Milton Erickson, one of the leading figures in modern hypnotherapy. Prior to entering the trance state, I explained to Dr. Erickson Klein that my goal was to improve my rowing technique. I agreed to practice self-hypnosis, or auto-hypnosis as it's also known as, on a regular basis over the next 3 months, and then report back to her regarding my results. And here I am. I have used self-hypnosis in the past for race preparation. However, I found myself looking at my body rather than being inside my body. I experienced something completely different when I entered the trance state during the hypnosis session with Dr. Erickson Klein. I felt connected to my body during the trance as I rode down the course, and I remember my breathing changed markedly as I felt myself speeding towards the finish line. It took me quite a while to recover my breathing, as it would when I was racing. Strangely enough, I felt dissociated from my body in the room in the here and now, but inside it when I was rowing. It was a very intense experience, and I can't recall ever feeling that deeply entranced before.
Hi, my name's Tom Appleby and I'm Carolyn's rowing coach. One of the more challenging aspects of coaching experienced athletes is trying to change entrenched motor patterns. Carolyn's a very successful and motivated single sculler. And besides working on her strength and fitness, we're always looking for opportunities to get speed gains from technical efficiency. So last year she got an outstanding result at the World Masters Regatta. She won 2 single scull events. But we still identified that there was opportunities for technical improvement. I won't go into the details, as we're not a rowing audience, but in simple terms it involves resequencing part of the stroke cycle. This might sound quite simple, but Carolyn has to execute this race pace and race intensity, so has to carry out the actions in fractions of a second. So to achieve this, we have to rebuild the pattern of movement at low ratings and then progressively increase the speed so at race pace it will become automatic. Now, we were making good progress with this re-engineering, but the trip to the conference meant that we were going to lose some momentum because Carolyn wasn't going to have access to a boat over a couple of weeks. So Carolyn saw an opportunity with hypnosis to try to entrench the changes which we've been working on while she was away. Now, since she's actually come back from the conference, Carolyn's been able to actually almost return to where she left off from. One of my colleagues, Brendan Terrell, who's an international coach, also noticed how quickly Carolyn had assimilated the changes. And it's quite unusual to be able to change such ingrained motor patterns so quickly, so I was quite interested in how she did it.
Since the hypnosis conference, I've been practicing self-hypnosis each night prior to falling asleep. So what I do is a basic induction where I imagine a wave of relaxation flowing through my body, starting from the top of my head right down to the tips of my toes. Once I feel my body becoming relaxed and at ease, I then move into a deepening phase where I count 1 to 5 and I enter a deeper state of trance. I then progress to the visualization stage where I practice the technical movements that my coach has asked me to change and improve on. So I imagine myself in the boat, then I go inside my body and feel what I'm actually doing. So I work at a visual level and at a kinesthetic level. So connecting with my muscle movements in the boat is very important. So that's also part of the work I'm doing when I'm in that deep induction suggestion phase. So I found that's been working well, and I've noticed significant improvements and maintenance. So, for example, when I returned from my overseas trip, I was away for about 5 weeks. I really didn't have the opportunity to have access to a boat or a rowing machine, so it was very important for me to practice those movements that my coach instructed me in prior to going away. And I managed to get back on the water, and much to my surprise, and I was surprised, I actually hadn't regressed at all technically. In fact, I'd made improvements, and that really did surprise me. Even though I was hopeful that would occur, I wasn't really sure that it would actually happen. And obviously getting my coach's feedback is really important in assessing not just my own sense of whether or not I'd modified my motor patterns, but getting his feedback and having that validated was very important. So at times the trance state that I'm in varies. So on occasions I'm not as deep as on some occasions as others, and I'm not really quite sure why. When I've been very deeply dissociated, it does feel quite strange and a little bit scary, because I actually feel like I'm outside my body but in my body. It's hard to explain, but that's just what I experience. And so after I conclude the hypnotic suggestions, what I then do is move into sleep. Some occasions my adrenaline levels are up, so I then re-alerting myself and actually then progress to the sleeping stage. So I've continued to practice this every day, and I've reaped the rewards of this work. I raced yesterday and a very long distance race, which requires considerable technical proficiency, and I won, so I was very happy. So winning isn't the only objective of whether or not you improve, and as you've heard from my coach, he has noticed those changes.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Dr. Erickson Klein for providing me with an opportunity to practice self-hypnosis, which I greatly appreciated, and I've applied it to improve my rowing technique. I hope other people out there, including practitioners who are interested in auto-hypnosis, can take away any insights from this and incorporate it into their daily lives. Thank you.